Hello, it's Reija and welcome to another video. You know, I haven't done a TBR video in a long time, so might as well, because I have a huge pile of possibilities right here that I want to read during October. So without further ado, let's get started. Mind you that these are books that I want to read and I am prioritizing, but I make no promises that I will actually get to all of them because, you know me, I might pick up something completely different or it just might take me a longer time to get to some of these books. So, first off, I want to read Drowned Country by Emily Tesh. This is the sequel to Silver in the Wood, which I just finished literally today. Spoiler alert for my October wrap-up. And I am expecting that this will take me a little bit longer to read, even though it is very short, because Silver in the Wood had a very sort of lush and atmospheric type of writing style that took me quite a while to get into it and start to really appreciate it. So I am expecting that this might also take me a little bit longer to read because of that. But I am very much looking forward to picking it up. This is a sort of queer fairy tale, dark fantasy set in a sort of cursed wood, if you will. The next book I want to read, I recently bought this. This is Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake, and I have heard a lot of good things about it, and I've been craving for queer romances, and I've especially been craving for sapphic romances because I have read a lot of sort of I read a lot of romance recently that has either been a Killian male romance or straight romances, or possibly with bisexual characters, but they have been a man and a woman. But I've not read a lot of sapphic romances, so I want to remedy that. And this is basically a story about these, I think this kind of rivals to lovers sort of situation, where they meet at a wedding where the other character is a wedding photographer. So I am looking forward to picking this up. Plus, it's a lavender color, and I really like lavender as a color. Then I have a couple of books from the library that I want to prioritize, starting with Flowers for the Sea by Zin E. Rocklyn. This is a novelette that was published, I think, in 2021 or 2020. And I have read one short story from Zin E. Rocklyn, and I have heard them speak at various panels, for example in Firecon, and I've really wanted to read more of their work because they just, whenever I hear them speak and discuss various subjects with people, I just find them really interesting. So I've wanted to delve into their catalog and read their stories as well. So starting with this one. And then, of course, I need to try and read Finnish books this year because, well, luckily I have read more Finnish books than 1 or 0. So I'm trying to read Maailmantyttäret by Siiri Enoranta. This is a new release that was released this year. It's basically kind of dealing with a utopian society that might not be as utopian as it seems, and it's all about girl power, and I think that it kind of also takes some pointers from magical girl stories like Sailor Moon, etc. So I am really excited for this one, and I hope that I finally get to it because I have had this on loan a couple of times, and then I have to always return it without reading it because I haven't gotten to it. So now I'm actually trying to get to it this time. Then I have another book from the library. This is Plague Birds by Jason Sanford. This was also published this year. And this is basically a sort of cyberpunk dystopian future where some humans are genetically modified and are kind of a combination of biology, like organic bodies, and artificial intelligence. And I pretty much know nothing more than that. They're basically that there are these people who are sort of Grim Reapers, essentially. That's all I know, and I'm kind of intrigued. This seems like it's gonna be a sort of quick read because it's fairly short, and I just have this vibe that this is gonna be a little action-packed and sort of a thrilling ride, and that's what I'm hoping for. So yeah, really excited to pick this one up. And then, of course, I need to mention This All Come Back Now. edited by Mykaela Saunders. This is an anthology of indigenous speculative fiction from Australia, and I am reading it this month for my Shorts and Sorcery book club, so obviously this will be a very high priority for me. I am planning on reading at least one story per day while I am reading all these other books, and I am really excited because I have not read a lot of literature from Australia to begin with, and certainly not indigenous lit, so I am really excited to be delving into these stories. And speaking of anthologies, I am going to be reading Tomorrow's Parties, Life in the Anthropocine, edited by Jonathan Strahan, and I have plans to buddy read this with Rachel from Kalanadi because we both bought this at Worldcon, and this is also a fairly short anthology. That's why I'm kind of optimistic to be reading it at the same time as I will be reading the other anthology that I just mentioned. And buddy reading is always beneficial to me because that keeps me accountable. So I'm really looking forward to reading this with Rachel. And then I have some graphic novels and manga, starting with Bolero by Wyatt Kennedy and Luana Vecchio. I still have not read this. I bought this while I was in Chicago, and this is basically a new release, came out this year, and it is a sort of multiverse sapphic romance dealing with grief and regret and broken promises and possible alternative futures, and it's basically pitched as Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, but make it sapphic and also make it even more sci-fi and make it multiverse. So yeah, really excited to be picking this one up. And finally, I have some classic manga. This is A Drunken Dream and Other Stories by Moto Hagio. Moto Hagio is like a very famous mangaka. She started in the 70s and was one of the people who basically created shoujo and josei manga and the tropes and like story structures that are really popular today. Like, for example, Ryoko Ikeda is another famous example. She created Rose of Versailles, and Moto Hagio is kind of in the like same started during the same time and wrote like these really interesting like tragedies, and also her stories dealt around queerness a lot. So I'm really excited to be picking this one up. This has like short stories starting from the 70s, and I think the latest stories are like from 2007. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what like how her art and how her storytelling kind of developed over the years. So yeah, I'm really excited to be picking this one up. And there you have it. These are all of the books that I'm planning and hoping to read in October. Tell me in the comments which of these sounds most interesting to you, which of these would you prioritize for your reading. And please leave me a butterfly emoji to let me know that you were here, because summer is almost over, so I want one last reminder of what we had during summer, and that is butterflies. Butterflies are great. So leave me a butterfly emoji down in the comments. And I will see you in another video very soon. Bye bye!